Welcome back to the Biblical Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Hector Alvarez. Today we're talking about the third piece of the armor of God, the shoes of the gospel of peace. As kingdom entrepreneurs, we're often called to walk into situations that are tense, challenging, or full of conflict. Whether you're negotiating a deal, managing a team, or facing opposition in your business, how you respond to conflict matters. Peace isn't just about avoiding difficult situations, it's about stepping into them with the readiness to bring resolution, wisdom, and understanding. In Ephesians 6:15, Paul writes, "And with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace." This verse teaches us that the shoes of peace are not just for walking, they are for preparing us to actively spread peace. These shoes equip us to step into any situation with the assurance that God's peace can bring order where there's chaos, calm where there's fear, and clarity where there's confusion. But how does that come into place in business? In the book of Acts, we see that the apostles, as individuals who faced tremendous opposition, always carried peace with them wherever they went. One key moment in Acts 16 stands out when Paul and Silas were thrown into prison for their faith. Now, being in prison under such circumstances may have caused fear, frustration, or even anger, but instead they chose peace. They didn't just sit in silence, they prayed and sang hymns to God, and their actions in that moment were a testament to the peace that transcends circumstances. Acts 16:25 says, "About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them." Paul and Silas could have let their situation dictate their actions, but instead they chose peace. They responded to their circumstances with prayer and worship, allowing peace to govern their hearts. This is such a powerful example for us in business. When challenges arise, whether in our personal lives or in our companies, how often do we default to frustration or fear? But like Paul and Silas, we can choose to let God's peace guide us, even when things seem out of control. The shoes of the gospel of peace aren't about walking away from conflict either. They're about walking into it with confidence, knowing that God's peace can transform any situation. And in business, this peace enables us to handle high pressure negotiations, manage conflicts within teams, and resolve client issues with grace. The shoes of peace are a tool that helps us remain solution oriented, calm under pressure, and focused on what is best for everyone involved. Let's think about it practically. When you walk into a tough negotiation or a heated discussion, the peace of God can be the difference between escalating a problem and finding a solution. Peace doesn't mean avoiding difficult conversations. It means approaching them when the mindset is offering a solution. It means approaching them with a real way of doing things, not just reacting emotionally. It's about listening first, offering understanding, and then guiding others towards a positive outcome. As entrepreneurs, we're called to bring peace into these situations, just as Paul and Silas did. I'll give you an example exactly of how this could actually play in your business. Let's say you're a business owner facing a high stakes negotiation with a potential partner. The stakes are very high. This partnership could become a game changer for you. However, the meeting quickly takes a tense turn. The potential partner begins to push for terms that you know aren't feasible for your company, and the conversation becomes more heated. It feels like the negotiation might actually fall apart, and both sides could leave feeling frustrated, perhaps even angry. In this moment, you have a choice. You could respond defensively, perhaps arguing back to protect your interest, or you could choose to bring peace into the room. By choosing to bring peace, you might pause, take a deep breath, and instead of pushing back with more tension, you calmly acknowledge the concerns of the potential partner. You listen intently to their point of view, express your understanding of their position, and then, with clarity, Explain your concerns in a way that invites cooperation, not conflict. You might say, I understand that these terms are important to you, and I genuinely appreciate your perspective. Let's explore how we can find common ground that works for both of us, ensuring that both parties benefit in the long run. In doing so, you're actively living out the message from Romans chapter 10:15. How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Your words and actions reflect peace, bringing calm and clarity to a potentially stressful situation. You don't just resolve the conflict, you turn the conversation into a productive dialogue, showing that peace and wisdom can open doors that fear and tension often close. By choosing peace, you're not only improving the negotiation, but also showing that your leadership is grounded in God's wisdom. Your decision to approach the situation with peace speaks volumes about your integrity as a leader and demonstrates to all involved that peace, rather than power, can drive meaningful results. When we actively choose peace in our businesses, we set the tone for everything that follows. Peace doesn't just protect us, it empowers us to lead with wisdom and confidence. It helps us create an atmosphere where others can thrive and work collaboratively towards a common goal. This peace doesn't just resolve conflict, it prevents it from escalating in the first place. When we walk in peace, we invite God's presence into our business environment. We reflect His character, and this attracts trust and respect. People see our leadership not as reactive or controlling, but as steady, wise, and grounded in God's truth. The shoes of peace allow us to lead with a clear mind and a calm heart, which opens the door for others to do the same. Not only are we meant to walk in peace within our business, but we should also be peacemakers. Take this example, for instance. Imagine that you're managing a team, and recently there has been increasing tension between two key employees. They're working on an important project together, but their disagreements have begun affecting the collaboration and, in turn, the entire team's productivity. The atmosphere in the office is becoming strained, and you can feel the pressure mounting. You know that if this situation is not addressed, it could escalate and harm the entire project as well as the morale of the team. As the leader, you're faced with a choice. You could ignore the issue, hoping it will resolve itself, or you can actively step in and restore peace to prevent further damage. By choosing peace, you decide to meet with both employees privately, giving them the opportunity to express their concern in a safe space. You listen attentively, empathizing with their frustrations, and validate their feelings. Then you bring them together for a facilitated mediation, guiding the conversation to ensure that they communicate respectfully, focusing on the common goal, working together to complete the project successfully. You stay calm and composed, offering practical solutions that address their concerns while encouraging them to find middle ground. You emphasize collaboration and importance of maintaining harmony for the success of the team. Matthew chapter 5 verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. In this situation, you're choosing to be a peacemaker rather than letting the conflict fester or escalate even further. You step in to guide both employees towards resolution. Jesus' words remind us that the peacemakers are blessed because they reflect God's heart for reconciliation. As a leader, your decision to bring peace doesn't just benefit you, it creates a positive environment for the entire team. Your actions show that peace is a proactive choice, not a passive one. By being a peacemaker in your business, you demonstrate God's kingdom in action. The peace you bring doesn't just resolve the conflicts, it transforms the workplace culture, making it one where understanding, collaboration, and trust flourish. When we choose peace, we become instruments of God within the marketplace, creating a ripple effect of blessings that extends beyond the immediate situation. So as we close today's episode, I challenge you to think about where peace needs to be brought into your business. Are there areas of conflict that you've been avoiding? Is there a situation where God's peace can bring resolution, calm, and wisdom? The shoes of peace are not just for walking, therefore stepping into every situation with the assurance that God's peace can bring change. If this episode has encouraged you, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to The Biblical Entrepreneur for more episodes on how to integrate your faith in your business. How are you bringing peace into your business? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let's continue the conversation. And remember, if you need help with your business or your real estate financing, we're here to help you build a kingdom business that honors God. Until next time, may your work be worship and your business be a blessing. God bless you all.